So I'm Chad Whitehead, Town Manager of the Town of St. Johnsbury, and we're here today at the town's Armory site, which is the focus of our Armory redevelopment project, which is going to the voters for bond approval on September 14th. If voters want some additional information, there'll be two informational sessions, one on August 23rd at 6 o'clock and one on September 7th. There's also information on the Armory project at www.stjvt.com. If you look down through the announcements, you can find information which will be posted and updated there. There's also some information that will be released on the town's Facebook page. The Armory was obtained by the town of St. Johnsbury from the state of Vermont back in the 90s, and even if we were to demolish the building, it still carries with it about a $1.3 million liability. That doesn't include the demolition plans. So our purpose for redeveloping this as a police station is to renovate this historic building, and portions of the project will preserve the front historic portions of this building, while the rear of the building will be demolished to make space for an addition and to make parking and vehicle storage needed for the police department. So as we can see, the condition of this building probably isn't that many of us remember back when we used to come here and play basketball as part of the rec department. So it's kind of the after effects of just being shuttered for as long as it has. You can also see evidence of people breaking in. We have had problems with, there's so many access points. We've had problems with people getting in here. You can see some remnants on the floor here. Somebody had actually set a fire at one point. Luckily it didn't really take off, or else we would have had quite a bit more cleanup to do. But a lot of this, what we're in for this portion of the building, this is the front entryway, right when you come through the front doors. This is the section of the building that will be retained and renovated. So this will be police offices as well as dispatch, our dispatch center and dispatch offices. Behind me back here is the gymnasium, which most of this will be torn down to make space for parking. However, there'll be an addition just behind me which will kind of reflect this front portion of the building. All right, so we're in the gymnasium portion of the building. During our historical review, there was some comments to look at trying to save a section of this building. However, through interaction with our architects and the Division of Historic Preservation, we determined that by saving a portion of this building, it segmented the building a little too much, and we were able to get concurrence that this whole portion of the building, this gambrel roof piece, will be taken down to make room for a more historically matching piece to the building, which will come into the first third of this. So we're in the basement section of the Armory. This is actually, we're underneath the section that's going to be taken down. Historically, this housed, we had our police department was actually set up down here a number of years ago. Also, the Community Restorative Justice Center operated in here, but you can see it's got a long ways to go before it could be reoccupied or reused. This section comes down, gets filled. The brick and the other materials needs to get disposed of. This is actually the area where the paints are in the floor that have impregnated into the concrete. That's the PCBs that have caused the primary focus of the contamination issues. So this has to be torn out and sent off to a landfill, regardless of what we do with the building. So, and then depending on how much lead is in the rebar in here, it determines whether it's an $800,000 remediation or a $1.3 million remediation. So that's regardless of whether we tear the building down or not. So the plan is to remediate this, get this out. We have already got a brownfield cleanup grant to assist with this in the amount of $500,000. We'll be applying for additional funds to help offset the overall project costs. This area, as I said, gets torn down, backfilled, turned into a parking lot, but more importantly becomes a clean bill of health and eliminates a liability from the town. So we're up on the third floor of the building. This is also a section of the building that will be preserved and renovated. One of the historic significant pieces to this, there are several aspects to the building, including the building shape itself, the front facade that we're trying to maintain, the windows, the shapes of the windows, but also this fireplace right here was asked to be maintained and incorporated into the designs. We've agreed with Historic Preservations to do that. About 5 years ago, the Select Board agreed to utilize some reserve funds to put a temporary roof on the structure just to help maintain it and to make sure that it didn't deteriorate any further. that structure was given about a 3-year life expectancy, so we're already on borrowed time when it comes to this existing roof. And so obviously we'll replace this roof, new structure, new roof. But even if we don't renovate this building, if the town wishes to preserve this building for any chance at future use, we'll have to invest in this roof in the very near future. So renovating the historic Armory and keeping the police and dispatch station in a prominent downtown location makes sense for several reasons. A prominent Main Street location will keep the police department front and center, which provides a feeling of security and serves as a deterrent to crime in our historic district. A central location, the downtown Main Street location provides an even response time to areas that we serve, and it also removes the town liability. Additionally, we feel that by the town investing in its own building here on Main Street, it will increase the chances of other investment in vacant and blighted lots in the surrounding neighborhood.